Then I'm going to hit start webinar, and here we go, and I'll introduce you. Good morning. I am Tamika Miller with the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce. I'm the VP of Marketing Events, and this is day one, Tuesday, February 23rd. I'm delighted to be here with you and to welcome our first presenter for the day. Her name is Mary Rose, and she is the Vice President of Connecticut and New York with Challenger, Gray, and Christmas Incorporated. And today, Mary will be talking about all the important steps that you should take as you are navigating the job search, all the important steps you should take while you're navigating the job search. We know that it can be a bit overwhelming. So Mary's going to talk to us about where we start. What types of things do we think about? And so now, without further ado, I welcome Mary Rose. Thank you, Mary.
Great, thank you, Tamika. And I'm going to be sharing my screen here in a few minutes. But good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce, the Career Fair for 2021. I can't even believe it. But I am excited here to be here, and I hope that you walk away with things that are important to you, and I'm going to work to do that. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here this morning, and let me just see if I can make this work. And let me get into presenter mode here so we can get this taken care of. Okay, great. So Tamika, Shante, thank you so much. So I want to, so you're here to navigate the job search, and where do you start? My goal is to have you hit that bullseye, very important to me. So I spend a lot of my time helping people do that, which I'm grateful for. So where I want to start right now, though, is I want to thank the New Haven Chamber for all that they have done through COVID and beyond. The Chamber is a tremendous resource. They have worked tirelessly to support the community, businesses and organizations and people, helping them connect and navigate through this time. So I want to say that, again, my name is Mary Rose. I'm also a volunteer ambassador to the Chamber. And very simply what that means is that I help individuals get the most out of their membership. Really important because, again, a lot of us have questions, not sure to do things, but when you have resources, life is easier. So I can't say enough about the Chamber and how they've gone to a digital chamber in this time to help people connect and be successful in their careers. So as Tamika said, my full-time job is Vice President with Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. And I'm going to just refer to some notes and make sure I hit on points, but I'm going to give you a little bit of housekeeping before we start. And I just want to say that our work is working with people on career development throughout placement and executive coaching. Some things I want you to know that I think will give some relevance and context. So I'm also a certified coach, and part of the reason why I felt passionate about doing this presentation this morning is the fact that I am a certified coach, and I run a group for people in transition. So working with people day in and day out and how to make the job search easier. Really important. And I don't know if any of you have worked with coaches before, but really, yes, we give advice. We certainly do those things, but a lot of about coaching and helping people get into action and accomplish their goals is about asking questions, helping them get clear on what they're after. And clarity brings power to it. So I am going to hit on some of that, ask you some questions, and I do need to know a little bit about the group. So let me just start there. So first off, and let me just make sure I can do this here. Okay, so first off, I want to acknowledge you for showing up and being here. To me, getting into action, taking action is 90% done. And what it tells me about you is that you're open to learning. And through this process, my hope is that you come away with some perspectives that might make things easier for you, clearer for you, and again, being able to accomplish what you're after. So one of the questions I have here, and I'm hoping the chamber can help me with this to see, since I can't see you, I would like to know and ask some questions to put in the chat so I can see who's here. I'd like to know, are you a junior professional, a mid-level professional, or a senior professional? And I would like to know how many months you've been in search. So I hope this is possible, that I'll be able to see this in the chat, that basically, so if you're for example, a mid-level professional and you've been in search for 6 months, could you please just put mid-6 so I have a sense of where you are? And I see one coming in here. So if you are, there we go. Okay, so wonderful, since November. Okay, so I have a senior professional here and been in search for since November. Anyone else? Please don't be shy here. The reason why I'm asking these questions is it will help me help you and gear the presentation toward you. So I see there's about 23 participants. There we go, I have another one. So mid-level here, professional, began my serious job search 2 weeks ago. Great. Another one just starting their career and graduate school in May. Perfect. Junior, a few years. Okay, anyone else at all, feel free. So it looks like we have a mix, mid-level, 6 months. There was my example, Joan. Thank you very much. So this will help me certainly tailor the conversation and guide it so I can hit on all points. And again, I really want to make sure I'm able to do that for you. The other thing I'm going to ask you off the top here is that if you would also just put what is your biggest challenge. So again, this type of feedback is going to help me gear things towards you. I want to make sure it's relevant and helps bring some of the barriers down. So what is your biggest challenge for search today? So I have someone here, John, thank you, getting an interview. Anyone else, please feel free to throw them in there. Alan says here, its biggest challenge is applying. Oh, Amelia, selling myself. Oh, you're right on point. So you're gonna love this slide. I appreciate that feedback. Working with the invisible job market. Oh, Shannon, music to my ears here. Oh, I'm sorry, that was someone else. But Shannon, you're saying finding the right position, getting the interview. Perfect. Jeff saying here, I am very confident speaking. His challenge is identifying target companies, privately held, 100 million. Okay, perfect. Target company. Okay. Just want to write that down. Have certificates, but no degree. Perfect. I can help you there. Okay. Anyone else at all, feel free, and please don't be shy. I'm I mean that. I want you to, this is about you. I want you to get the most out of it. So as I said, thank you for showing up. And really one of the things that is very evident today, I want to acknowledge you because job search is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And recruiters had confirmed this for me, and I was excited about it because they will tell you that job search is a marketing campaign. And when I heard a recruiter say that to my group, I was like, yes, I get it. Okay. I'm not crazy, right? So, but here's the thing, okay? If it's a marketing campaign, and it is, but who wants to be sold, right? Probably no one. So what I always say is selling is non-selling. And I really don't believe you need to, because think about when telemarketers call you or people try to sell you something, what do? Right? You don't listen. The information's out there. We don't need to be sold. So I hope to give you some pointers on how to really make that process easier for you so it's natural and you're more confident. And that's what wins jobs. So I encourage you to be different. That's the biggest thing about marketing. I've been marketing experience for many, many years. I love the experience I have and bring to search because it's really just about helping other people, and I'll talk more to that. But in marketing, you do need to stand out. You need to know, you have 3 people, hiring managers looking at 3 different people, they need to know who you are and what makes you different. And I just say, be you. So we're going to talk more about that. But again, thanks for being here, and let's jump in. Okay, so let me see if I can get this to work here. It's not, let me get rid of the chat here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so quickly, just what we'll cover. You've all seen the agenda, but basically, first things first, what should you do before the search? Very important before you start, there are things you need to do, and that's going to pave the way and make it easier. Getting what you want, and someone was asking about this already. What if you don't know what role you want? What if you have a lot of skills and you're not sure where to apply them? I want to help bring some clarity there too. I'm also a big proponent of knowledge being power, in the sense that basically that there are statistics you need to know that can help you know what you're up against and make it easier for you to do this. Networking, we're going to cover that, and I like to say what it isn't and why it matters. That there, okay. And very important, and we're going to talk about how to bring down some of these barriers here. So I just want to review these real quick. Okay, so the hidden job market. Okay, perfect. All right, we're going to get to that. No degrees and okay, perfect. Okay, so my goal, as I mentioned, I want to make things easier. To me, clarity makes has greater ease when you're clear on what you're going after, what you want, because then you know how to spot it, right? And I do want you to participate. So this is about you, and I'm here to, how can I help? So don't be shy, let me know. Okay, so we're gonna move on. All right, so one of the things I wanna, again, give you some context, and I am gonna refer to notes, I just want you to know that too. I don't wanna miss things, and I wanna make sure that I cover key points, but why I'm here, and really I wanna, just offer you some context as to, well, why am I, how can I help you in search? What have I done? Why is that important? So just to give you some context on the topic and what I do is, first and foremost, I always like to say that I don't have all the answers. Nobody does, right? All I can do is share what's worked for me and what's worked for others. So that's what I'm going to do today. And really, my career, my path wasn't easy. And I don't think anyone can say that it's super easy and it was all, just handed to you and you just walked into it and it all just happened perfectly. That's not reality. So I don't think I'm alone there, that it wasn't an easy path building a career. But I am proud to say that I'm self-made, and what that means is that I have been hired without experience, without a degree, certificate, whatever, and I've been hired out of profile. And really why I'm most proud of that is because it's taught me things that now in turn I teach others, and I can make it easier for them, because travelers, there is no path, right? And how do we make that path? Well, we do it by taking one step at a time. So in building my career, I have learned to, the best way to succeed is to find a need and fill it, help other people be successful. And that's part of the job search too. As you are able to be successful in your search, you're really just helping people get what they want. Your hiring manager, your company, whatever it is, they're going to choose you because they see that you're the person who can deliver. And that's what happened to me. So I delivered, and I delivered some more, and then be able to build a track record on that. So if you take something away today that makes your path easier, that's my goal. And so we're going to jump right in. So let me just go here. Okay. So first things first, navigating the job search. Where do you start? Well, I always tell people, the people that I work with, they laugh at me sometimes, but Google is your best friend, right? So if you wanted to find out how to do anything, how to land a job, where do you start? There's no dearth of information. We're in the information age, right? So if you go to Google, very quickly, it was one of the first things I did. What would you see, and how am I going to help you, right? So the first article in this you're going to find through Whova is in my virtual booth, I guess it is. You're going to see two articles there. This is the first one. And what I loved about this particular article is that it hits on 10 things you need to know, and they're all very, very relevant. So what you'll find here is that it's going to talk about resumes. I mean, and there's no wrong answers here, but how many of you know that most resumes are read at least initially by computers? AI, artificial intelligence, is alive and kicking. And basically it is, technology is how a lot of these resumes are being looked at. So ATS is very important, the applicant tracking software, keywords, talks about social media. Do you think that's important? You betcha. So cleaning that up, being patient, don't take things personally. All of that is in that article. So when I read that, I'm thinking, well, I guess we're done. You don't need me if the answers are out there. So can we just go grab breakfast now? But really, that's knowing information is not enough. You need to know how. And this is what I want to help you with today. So the standard answers from Google are there. Look at the article. The not so standard answers, let's talk about it. So if I was working with you, I basically would want to know, what's your ideal role? What does that look like? What's the ideal day look like? Who do you want to work with? I just did an exercise recently with a group of execs in transition, and basically, what problem do you solve? Talk about a way to clarify an ask or what you're looking for when you're talking to someone. This is what I do. And being able to say the problem I solve is X. So another question I love to ask is, who needs you? This sometimes can be very clarifying and help you understand what job you should look for. Okay, somebody was asking there. So these are some of my questions on, where would you start? Get clear on what you're after. However, you answered all of these questions, right? Whatever your answer is, here's the key. You need to write it down. Okay, I have talked to more people in transition. Again, I do it day in and day out, and I love it. But what I invariably find is that they'll be talking about, yes, I've been out there, I've been searching, I've been trying to do this, trying to do that. And in essence, I'll say, well, have you written it down? Well, no, I haven't. Why should I do that? And what I like to share with people is really some important things here that if, why am I saying this? If you look at the statistics, the power of writing down goals, and you can look at Harvard studies, neuroscience, our brain is a filter. We get 80,000 thoughts a day. So what comes in and what we notice is all filtered out. The statistics are out there that, and you've probably heard, you probably know someone, or maybe even yourself, who has written goals down and they've accomplished them. One of the most powerful things is, as you go across your career, you look back and you look at some of the goals you've written down. I did that. You can't even make it up. But really what it is that written goals are proven to be 10 times more successful, right? What's better than that, right? Do you want to be less successful or do you want to be more successful? So writing it down, and even if you don't know, if it's not clear, don't worry about it. Just get it on paper. And I'm going to share a little bit with you this morning. This is a journal when I was evaluating my career most recently that led me to Challenger. It started here. And if you look in page 1, okay, I started jotting things that what was I looking for? What was it about? What was work about for me? And I just highlighted some of the things here that when I wrote this down, this was back in 2018. And, when I look at that, the goals that I had written down, they're almost exact. How I had described what I wanted to do. It's almost exact. It's kind of uncanny, but it works. So a couple of other I want to share. That's one example of my own, but I want to share an example that I think can, again, give some context and give some relevance to why I'm telling you this so strongly. There's a gentleman in my group, okay, and basically he's an executive, he's a finance guy, very professional, he's nice, he's intelligent, he's got everything going for him. So basically in his search, When I met him, he had a spreadsheet and he was, really tracking everything. And it was like a full-time job for him, which it can be. It's not easy work. But he was tracking everything. And what I couldn't figure out, well, here he is, he's smart, he's competent, he's got all this stuff, he's doing the work, he's taking action, but he's not landing. So I'm over there and I'm scratching my head, and I said, well, what's your goal? And he told me that his goal was to achieve so many contacts every week. And he tracked them, he followed up with them, you could sort it by date and follow up dates, do all these things. It was amazing. So I'm thinking, well, why is he not landing? And I said, well, I got it. I got it. So I said to him, Frank, so your goal, guess what? You're successful. You are 100% successful because you're hitting those numbers every week. So as a coach, I said to him, I have a challenge for you. And this is from my best intention because I care about you. I want you to succeed. I challenge you to make your goal about numbers of interviews per week. Guess what? He's not on this call. He's working. Okay. So it was a little shift, but what he did, he got clear. He wrote down the number that he wanted of interviews per week, and he was able to be successful. So those are two really good examples. I hope that helps you understand, where I'm coming from. So if you do nothing else, you may hear me say this 1,000 times, but get it on paper. So key fundamental to success. And by the way, any questions here, don't hesitate to, put your question in the chat. I'm happy to help. So great. So now that you've written it down and you know what the goal is, well, one of the things I hear quite often is, well, what if I don't know what I want? How do I know? I can do a lot of things. I don't know which job should I pursue? Okay, so there's a lot of, again, there's a lot of distilling the information down to get clear on what it is that you do want. So what I wanted to offer is not just tell you, hey, write down the job you're looking for. What do you do when you don't know what that looks like, or you're not sure, or you can do many things? So I want to cover a couple things here this morning on tips that can help you do that. And I'm listing 4 here. I always like to look at opposites sometimes. So if you're trying to reach a goal, well, what's the opposite of that? So in this case, if you invert your don't wants, let's say you don't want to travel. So that tells me you want a job nearby. You could write down all the things on the left-hand column of the paper page and say, here's what I don't want, and which means here's what I do want. So that can help you narrow it down. Books, there's a ton of books out there, and I'm going to talk to that in a minute, but finding your passion, aligning your talents, all of that stuff. Questions, you can ask others. I did this when I was evaluating my career. I didn't want just another job. I just couldn't grow where I was. I love what I did, love my boss, love what I was doing. But after 5 years, I couldn't grow. So I asked people, what do you know me, you know what, that I'm passionate about my work. What do you see me doing? Once I asked that question, I opened my ears and shut my mouth, and I learned a ton. And that's also in that book. I talked to my fabulous 5 people that I wanted to pick their brains on before I even started search. And one of them, the feedback that I got on the answer to my question is, what do you see me doing? That is written in that book, again, almost identical to what I'm doing today. I'm not making this up. So what's my superpower is another one. And then you can ask yourself, I'm going to take you through a couple things here, but basically, asking yourself questions, but you have to listen, right? So let me show you what I mean. So first off, on the books, I mean, look at the hits on the book. 98 million, right? So just incredible. But the information is out there, and there's some really good information. I'm not telling you to go read 98,000 million books. And what I'm telling you is, you can Google what's the best way to find your passion, or what's the summary on, getting out of your own way. You can quickly distill information down through the internet, and you know that, of course, but here's some ones. It is about finding your passion and your talent if you want to be happy. But here's another, this graphic I love. Again, I'm just sharing this with you in case it's helpful, these are some tools. And I can make this available to you, but when you ask yourself questions and you don't forget to listen, this diagram, I love it because it looks at, if you look at the inside, you've got passion, you've got mission, you've got profession, you've got vocation. So some of the questions around that is asking yourself, what do you love? What are you great at? Okay, what does the world need? I love that question. Talk about finding a need and fill it. You can have the best skills in the world, but if you don't apply them to what's needed, you're going to be paddling your boat for a while without a lot of return. The other question I love is, who needs you? Think about that question. I had somebody ask me that once and I was blown away by it. Okay, just things that you can think about. So when you put this all together, when you're doing something you love, something the world needs, you're getting paid for it, and you're great at it, you can really hit the target on your ideal role and what you're most passionate about, and really bring passion with your mission. And that's where we're going. A lot of people want to do work, and they want to do work that's meaningful. So these are some of the tools that can be helpful. One point on the left there I just want to say is that also, as people, some of you that are advanced in your career, or even not, you can have a lot of skills. There can be a lot of things that you are really good at, enjoy doing. So it's really hard to, again, write down the goal. Where do you start? What does that role look like? But really asking questions or asking others can be very helpful. So the next slide here, and the last example I'll use as a tool, and let me explain this, but this is one of my favorites. I read a book years ago, and it was terrific, okay? But it was really about performance and how to improve yourself, improve your career, grow and be able to find work that you love. And really what this book talked about, I remember it so well, is what do you call what's easy to do, but you don't remember learning it? Okay, if you've never heard this question, it's really something I'm inviting you to ask yourself. What is easy for you to do, but you really don't remember learning it? You're just good at it, okay? Well, what that's called, and this is what the book said, is talent. And I see this day in and day out. There's a lot of people out there. And one of the points I want to make sure I hit on for you is that people can really miss their own value. They'll write a resume and then, well, that's not on there. I know how to do that. That was easy. They don't think it's important, but really they're missing their value. And what I like to say is a fish doesn't know it's in water. And what I mean by that is when something's easy for you and it comes naturally, you may just think it's, well, everyone can do that. No, that is not the case. So if you want to learn how to sell yourself, all I tell people is understand what you're good at, your superpower, whatever you want to call it, but get clear on what you bring to the table so you can have conversation about that without having to sell people, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. Who cares? It's subjective. But when you can talk about what your talents are, what your strengths are, and clearly show, hey, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm excited about the search. This is what I'm looking for. Tell me about your organization. What's your biggest challenge? Ask them questions, okay? So really, to address the selling question here, it's just getting clear and making sure that your resume and your LinkedIn speak to these points, because you know what? No one can be you. And that's the thing. That's, to me, the selling is non-selling, because you just have to show up yourself and align yourself with what you're really good at, and talk about those passions and find out what their need is, right? So it goes back to that. So I hope this helps. I want to just review the questions here, making sure I'm hitting these. Okay, so, again, here, if you don't have the certificate, that was where I started. I didn't have a degree. I'm self-made here. So what do? I started talking about what they saw in me was really a commitment. They saw that my money was put where my mouth is, in terms of I wasn't It wasn't, it was just very natural. I was just very confident about what I was trying to do, what I wanted to do, what I was good at. And that's what got me the interviews, and really can help you do just that. So I just want to touch on that here. This chat is not letting me move it too easily, but here we go. All right. All right. So anything else here, please feel free to put it in. Okay, so that's really about getting clear on yourself. So we're gonna jump to this second piece here, and that is, why does this not want to do this sometimes? Okay, knowledge is power. So we talked about getting what you want. Now we're going to move on to this. There are things that you need to know, and I love reminding people every day about these statistics. So if you want to know where are the jobs, somebody already mentioned the hidden job market, and how do you land a job, you need to know what you're up against, because otherwise you're going to be swimming upstream, is what I like to say. Because if you know what you're dealing with, you know where to look, where to find, where to put your energy, and it can really reduce your frustration. Frustration is a energy zapper. It will kill your motivation because you keep banging your head. So what I like to share with people is not only to share these statistics, but I want you to remind yourself every day, and here they are. The hidden job market, okay? Statistically, and they're not our stats, this is Wall Street Journal, Forbes, but 70 to 80% of the jobs aren't posted. I have this conversation every single day, and I love it because it helps people realize, hey, it's not me. Okay, I'm looking out there, I don't see anything, or it's the same jobs, or I'm not finding anything I want. That's because a hunk of them aren't listed. Okay, they're not posted. And even if you cut that statistic in half, it's huge, okay? So just know that a lot of the jobs that they're looking for you, they're just not posted. So keep that in mind, and don't get discouraged when you're not seeing things. The other statistic that you need to know is networking. Statistically, through surveys, 75 to 95% of the jobs are found through networking. Holy cow. To me, that is the best news ever. That means that you can get a referral. You can get that introduction. I just sent out 2 yesterday for a gentleman that had 2 jobs he's seen in LinkedIn. I was connected to both. I sent that out, and I need to follow up. I need to do some work, and I'm willing to do that because of my relationship with that person. The other staggering reality for job search is that even when jobs are posted, okay, here's the thing. Many of them that are posted are simply for compliance, okay? They have to post them. But oftentimes you'll find out they've got the job posted, it looks open, but they're already in hiring rounds. So they're well down that path. It may have even made a decision. So it can be very frustrating. So sharing this information, people, I just love when they're like, oh, wow, so that's why I'm, banging my head against the wall. And I really love to help them see that. But here's the next thing. So once you know that, and these stats are, again, Google it yourself, research it yourself. But my next question is really asking you, why do you think there is a hidden job market? Why aren't these jobs posted? And I tell people when I ask this question, I really want to know, but there's no wrong answers here. So what I'd like to ask you in the chat here, please, is why do you think these jobs aren't posted? Please give me some feedback, because there's 27 of you on the call here. What do you think? I mean, what are you running into out there? Are you seeing that jobs aren't posted, and you're hearing about people that are landing, and they're referred in? And this, do you have any sense? Do you want to help me out this morning at all and share? Why do you think there's a hidden job market? So what I'll share with you is when I've done this, supported the career fairs in the past, and one time I asked this question, and they didn't get to the posting job yet. Of course, yeah, that exactly, John. It may not be posted. You're ahead of the game, which is great. Okay, They already have someone in mind. Companies like hiring internally. Of course they do, right? So why do they, right? Why do you think they do? So at this career fair, I had asked the same question because it's really important you understand this. And a young woman piped up and she said, well, why is our hijab? She said, well, because they want to make it harder. I mean, that's literally what she thought. And I could totally understand why. But the reality is that, and I keep a list in my office just because I think it helps people understand, but some of them, okay, let's just look at the sheer volume. When you see a job that's on LinkedIn, it will show you oftentimes how many applicants, and it could be hundreds, okay? So the sheer volume of applicants, I'm just gonna read a few. You certainly, they may not be ready to advertise a role, of course, yeah, so it may be premature, exactly. But oftentimes what I'm really referring to here is that there are open jobs. Companies are looking for people that they can't find and it's not posted. So what I want you to see is that there's a bigger pond to fish from in terms of where these jobs are located. But I'm going to give you some of what I hear most often, and these are from people. So they get a volume of applicants. They're not getting 5 resumes when they post that job. Okay, so if they get 50, they might get 500. How much time, energy, and cost does it take for a company to go through all those resumes? That's why AI and technology, the ATS systems, that's why they're filtering them out. They're screening them out because there's too many. Another issue is that I love this the other day, someone was saying that, oftentimes they will get, it's automated on the other side. So they're getting a lot of resumes for a job that they post. And guess what? Some are not even qualified. They're not even close. I seen that happen with right in my own town here, small office, and they posted a job very specific on what they needed. This is like a 4-person office. They got 150 resumes. Okay, so whether the job is a local one, a corporate job, whatever it might be, they're getting a lot of volume. Some of the other on here is that it could be confidential. Okay, they prefer to, if they're referred to someone, it is really someone who's known, that they're vetted, which can really reduce risk, less risk involved, and sometimes culturally. So maybe this has happened for you. Somebody told you about a job. Hey, we've got an opening in our company. I wonder if you're interested. Well, guess what? That person is going to tell you, yeah, this is what it's like working there. And if you do apply, you have a better sense of that culture. So the alignment and the fit can be much better suited for someone coming out from coming in cold and not knowing that. Again, an enormous amount of time and energy. And again, this is what you have to do to hire. But I had someone recently, I just want to share this with you too, is that this woman, she was on an interview and, helping her, we prepped before it and all that, which is always a good idea. But basically she was in the interview and, we always say, so here's your point, the question on interviewing is, go for the connection, not the job. So connecting with that person. And what the point I want to make here is that this person, when she connected with her and, felt like she was, really having a good conversation, she discovered that this hiring manager that was interviewing her, her schedule was flat out until 6:30 that day. Well, I said to her, and she's like, well, that's not too late of a day. What's the big deal? Well, guess what? When that person's done interviewing and going through everything that has to happen, they still have their regular job. So again, it's a lot of work. And what we invariably find is that, again, 75 to 95% of jobs are filled through networking. So remember this. And my hope is that you do remember this so you don't take it personally, because again, that'll crush your motivation. Okay, makes sense? Any questions? Okay, I wish I could see you, but I can't. So, okay, so the bottom line, networking is the faster, safer route, and this works both ways. How many of you have been referred to a job where Again, you have that inside scoop. You know someone that works there, and you know what it's like. It's for those hiring and those looking to get hired. Networking is the key. So really, that's what we're going to talk about next. So let me know if you have questions there. Okay, so the bottom line, really for success in your search, I just want to do a quick time check here. So, great. Okay, so I talk a lot about fundamentals. I don't care who you are and what you do. If you want to be successful, you want to be effective, everything you do, I don't care if you know, I don't know, everything in life, it comes down to basic fundamentals. So in search and networking, fundamentals really matter. And I love this quote. I shared it recently with my group, and my hope is that it resonates with you. But do you think Michael Jordan might be effective? Do you think he might be good at the fundamentals? Do you think he might be successful? Well, it's kind of hard to deny, right? So when I saw this, I was like, wow. So if this is good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So, you know, reading this, you know, you can practice shooting 8 hours a day. So think of that like your job search. You're out there and you're doing it. But if your technique is wrong, okay, some of those fundamentals are off, then all you do is you become very good at shooting the wrong way, he says. So when you get the fundamentals down, the level of everything you do rises. So, so that's why I want to start with this networking piece. So where to start? Okay, so the last part here on networking. You know, really, you know, to help you best, we could do a whole another presentation, and hopefully I'm sure there is one coming up later on in the career fair that I hope you'll attend. But basically, where I tell people to start even before they do anything in search is learn what networking is and learn what it isn't. You know, networking, it's an art and a skill, okay? And it's something that I see a lot of people working really, really hard, and they're out there, they're networking, they're doing what they can. And what happens is they're just not getting the results they want, i.e. referrals, interviews, conversations. That's how you know if it's working. If those three things are happening, I don't care what you're doing and how you're doing it, it's working. But if it's not, what I invite you to do is to learn how to network, and the operative word being effectively. Okay, remember, if 70 to 95% of jobs are filled through networking, I'm telling you, don't do a thing further until you have some comfort level that you understand the fundamentals of networking. So step number 1, step number 2, and 3 is to repeat it. Keep learning, and there's some things I can share with you here. So what networking isn't, okay? These are kind of counterintuitive, right? But basically, it's not about quantity. Networking is not transactional. If you want someone to refer you to a job, well, or an opportunity, they're putting their credibility on the line, okay? So if they aren't comfortable with you, if they don't trust you, if they don't like you, you know, it's going to be very hard for them. Oh yeah, you should talk to Mary. Yeah, she's all right. Yeah, give her a call. She can help you. She's got the skills. You don't want that. You want a ringing endorsement. So the way, if it's again, not about quantity, how do you get to quality? Okay, so it's not just collecting contacts. And in the old days when we actually went to live events and collected business cards, what do you do with them? It's really about meeting people, and I want to see if this is in here. And you know, helping each other really is what it's about. Learning, you know, your job is to learn, and it's not about getting. I know, again, this is so counterintuitive, but you know, networking is it's about helping others first, and that's the third bullet there, that it's not about you. I know this is radical stuff, but I kind of hit people up the head, you know, between the eyes on this, because if you think about your own situation, when you're meeting with someone and they just want something from you, when you know it, how does it feel? right? I mean, do you feel comfortable? Are you, if it's all about them, if they're just saying I, me, the me monster, I call it, you want to have a conversation that allows you to get acquainted. And it doesn't mean you're going to be best friends and lifelong friends with people for the rest of your life. But there's a great book called um, Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And that is all about meaningful contacts and being who you are, being genuine. And I want to go back to the Giver's Gain real quick. This is an international company. It's a networking company that built its business on that one philosophy of two words: Giver's Gain. And I personally was in that organization for a networking group for almost 6 years, taught networking through that, and really my biggest successes came from networking. Imagine that, okay? But it was all about giving, building trust, and all of that. So what I did, my second article for you is here. It's one I recommend often to people, but it's a little bit it's a long list, goes through it, but what I love about what she does is she will tell you and so I'll give you an example here. So basically, invest in them. So invest in other people, get an introduction, have an agenda. Oh my God. So this should help people if you're looking to network and you're trying to get an interview. If you follow these steps, you can get a referral that is going to lead to that interview. But going back to how she puts the document out there, she'll list what the 11 things are. She'll say, what you should do, but then she'll say why this works. Very, very powerful. Because a lot of times we can read, okay, yeah, that's how you do things and all that, but here's why it's important. So these are just some concepts to remember. I hope that you will read that, take it to heart, and I hope that people can reach me through Hoover. If you have questions, I'm here. And we're just going to finish up with a couple more here. So my wish for you, for all of you, is learn how to network so that you can you are remembered. What you do or what job you're looking for is repeatable for them, so they can then tell someone else, and that you're referable. Oftentimes I see so many people that they'll tell me what their skills are, what they do, and they work for this company for so many years, this happened and that happened, and then but I don't know, how do I know, especially when you meet, how could I refer them if I'm not clear on what problem they solve. So that's why the second piece there, is really making sure that it's clear, and that exercise we did early on will help. And that's why I spent the time there. So I always tell people in search, your job is to learn what you want, what you don't want, learn what's needed in the market, and also learn from each other. So all of these questions that are in here, if there's any I haven't answered, and I wish I could, chat with you to do that. But basically, when you're networking, ask other people, learn from each other. Hey, I really appreciate you getting together with me. I'm here. I'm looking forward to getting acquainted and learning more about you and your work, and help in any way I can. On my end, I'm looking, as well. But I'd love to ask you a couple questions. I'd love your feedback. One of them is, what's working for you in networking? And again, just open your ears and close your mouth, right? So what's been working for you? Any tips you can give me? That will shorten the learning curve on how to get the results you're after. So I am here to tell people, start by learning first so you can land your next job sooner. And let me just summarize here. I have to get out of chat to do that. Okay, so in summary, the fundamentals of search success, say that 3 times fast. Write down your goals, know the playing field, the statistics and where those jobs are, and network to be remembered. I can't tell you that enough. Final thoughts here. Set yourself up for success. Be sold on yourself to do the job you're looking for. If you're not sold, no one's ever gonna. Why should anyone else be? And to me, being yourself is your greatest winning edge. And when you can have a sincere conversation with somebody, again, I'm here to learn about you and your organization, excited about this next chapter in my career. What is your biggest challenge? You know, asking companies things like that. Yes, I'm a, you know, I'm a marketing person, I'm a finance person, I'm a chief operating officer, whatever it is. But I'd love to learn more about you and help in any way I can. I may or may not be the right person for the job, but I may know someone that I can refer you. So I'm really grateful to spend this time with you today. Those are some of the examples on, you know, how you can, you know, tee up what you're doing, but to get to that conversation, to be yourself. So I think I'm there just about. Does anyone have any questions? I'm seeing some. Okay. Let's see the job posting yet. What is the question there specifically? I can't go back up. Nope. Oh, sorry, that's not it. Yeah. So anyone at all, any questions? We've probably got about 2 minutes left. But I'm here, happy to answer any questions, any final thoughts. Again, the 2 documents that I mentioned are in Whova, and I hope you use that and find it helpful to you, and happy to connect with any of you. So you can reach me on LinkedIn if you have a question on your search. You know, that's I guess the very last thing I'll say is that you know, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, and that's one of the most beautiful things that has come out of COVID. In my opinion, the silver linings is that people are there, people have empathy, people understand we're not in this alone. And if you have questions or you're not clear on something or something is a challenge, ask. There are plenty of people that are willing to do that. And I hope this was helpful. So I think that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to go over here. So look me up on LinkedIn. Connect. Mary J. Rose is my LinkedIn tagline there, URL. So hopefully we can connect, and I hope I was able to get to target companies. I know that was one I didn't get to. So just reach out on LinkedIn and we can talk about that. But the Chamber is a really good resource for that. So there we go. So I want to wish everyone a great day. Okay.